You heard?
Straightforward. Of a person, they're honest and frank. And then the synonyms would be honest, frank, candid, open, truthful, sincere. And I don't know what could be more attractive than somebody who's open and honest with you.
Straightforward with Strip.
Fishbowl Radio Network, FBRN.US. It is Thursday. It is 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and that can only mean one thing. You are now logged on to Straightforward with Strip. Thursday at 3 on FBRN.US in the Red Stream. Today we have an awesome show, like always, where we're not going to talk about another man's sexuality or sexual preference. I think that's kind of weird. I've been seeing a lot of that on social media. There's a lot of straight guys and a lot of weirdos out there so consumed and so concerned about what another man likes in his bedroom. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. Stop being weirdos, all right? If somebody is doing something that's not harming another person, let them do it. I'm fine with that. I do got to mention his name, though. Shout out to Malik Yoba. He's a good actor, man. And everybody that stopped listening to Lil Nas X and stopped supporting him because he came out, y'all are tripping, man. But on the other hand, I do have to say, there's a lot of people that are kind of using this in a weird way. I don't want to step on any toes or anything, but I got to keep it straightforward. I feel like people are bringing up their sexuality unnecessarily. You know, I'm single, I'm straight, and I don't make it a thing. I feel like a lot of people, like the former Dallas Cowboys player, Brian Russell, came out and was like, yo, I'm undrafted and I'm gay. I just want to let y'all know. My thing is, like, why does it matter, bruh? Like, who cares? Like, do that, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I want to say it's messed up. Malik Yoba actually mentioned the dude that actually committed suicide after going viral in a video being made fun of because his significant other happens to be a transgender. Let's stop being so cruel to people, man. But anyways, I'm here with two awesome guests. Let's go ahead and get to them on Straightforward with Strip. We have Miss Fayedra and Vic The Artistic.
Hey, hello. Let's jump in.
Man, how are y'all doing today?
Awesome. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I wanted to bring y'all into the studio because on Straightforward with Strip, I like to highlight business owners, entrepreneurs, and really just stars in the community, you know. And I felt like you two were really stuck out to me, and I wanted to highlight you two. So we're going to go ahead and start with Fayedra. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, man.
So I want you to tell the listener, you know, who you are, what you're about, and what you're doing nowadays.
My name is Fayedra. A lot of people that do know me know that they know me as a mom. I am a mom. I'm a single mother of 3. I'm a lover of fitness. I'm a lover of wellness. My mother and I actually have a business. She is a internet radio host. Her and I have a small segment on her show, but her and I are big on wholeness and wellness and being completely well. I'm the young lady that is always going to promote loving yourself, and that's what I truly believe it starts with. So that's just a little bit about me. So I'm all about that. I'm all about getting people well and to a better place. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's awesome. That's Fayedra, yo. And then we have Vic The Artistic, dual threat Vic The Artistic, man. So tell me a little bit about what you do.
Well, basically, I'm somebody that loves to create. I'm firstly a mother. I do have one son, a little 2-year-old big boy getting big. And moving on from there, I'm also an artist, a painter. That'd be my first passion. And then I went from there. I moved into modeling a bit. I also enjoy photography as well. So really, if it has to do with being creative, I'm all about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. And I got to ask, because you're a model and a photographer, so a lot of people think like, oh, well, she does it all for her modeling career. Which one did you start doing first?
Definitely photography. I actually started with a company, people may be familiar with Life Touch, you know, where you get your high school senior portraits. And that was actually probably one of the most fulfilling jobs I've ever had, because I work with young teens. Usually the ladies would be feeling more self-conscious or things like that, and to be able to bring them out of that and really show them that they are beautiful, you do have it, you can do whatever you want to, you can feel beautiful and do whatever you want to do. That was amazing. So definitely started out with photography and then moved into modeling later.
Okay, that's what's up. And have you done any like milestone projects or things that we would know of? You know, I heard you are doing something with Maxim. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, actually, you can find my link on my Instagram at Vic The Artistic. I am in the running to be the next Maxim cover girl for 2019. And I'm trying to be one of the first curvy girls to do it.
Yeah.
So that would be major, and I appreciate everybody that's supporting me and going on and voting for me every day. Every vote counts. So
that's awesome. Yo, I remember a couple years ago I was working security and I had to work this event. It was a Maxim party from Maxim magazine. Yo, it goes down at those parties. I'm telling you, like, people usually go to a party, you'll get like a gift bag or something, or like a walk away. They were giving bottles of Patron. Like, that was your gift bag, a bottle of Patron, and like it was like a $50 gift card. Like, it was stupid. It was insane. It was pretty dope. Yeah. You been to any Maxim parties?
not yet, but hey, you know, I'm not scratching it off the list yet. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. And I see we had Miss Greta Faye Ross. She said it was a TV show on wellness on SIBN.net.
Yes, that's my mom. She's amazing, man. She's been featured on the local Channel 8 station here, and she's actually featured also on Today.com. Her story, she lost over 100 pounds, and she did it naturally. So always, you know, and she's 62, and she's like absolutely, she's amazing. Like,
so she's the one that like got you into this fitness realm.
Yes, and crazy enough, like for her to be, of course, when I thought about it, like my mother is 60 something gonna train me. Like, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? But I mean, she got me into it. She took me under her wing. I was going through a really bad separation at the time. I had just had my daughter, so of course I'm, you know, self-conscious. My body changed and things like that, and she was like kind of just scooped me up and said, come on, let's go. And from that point forward, it's almost been 2 years, the beginning of next year, that I've been on this fitness journey, and I'm so grateful for her. But she's transformed other people along the way, so it's not just me. She again, she has an internet radio show. It's called Mind, Body, Soul Shift. So she works with people all over the nation. We work with people to get them well. So she got me well. She helped me on the journey, and it's not just fitness. It's mental too, you know. So it's all of that.
Yeah,
it's all of that.
I touched on that a little bit last week as well about, you know, a lot of people say like, oh, mental health. I also want to throw a shout out to let me pull up this name. It is, if you can't see the shirt, or if you logged on to the stream, it's a shirt that says, "You good, bruh?" And it's a question, and then it's hashtag mental health matters. So it's this organization called Elevating Dreams by Hart. It's a nonprofit organization, and they have these shirts that support the movement, and it always says, "You good, sis?" Because it's like black women checking on each other and checking on their mental health. So I was like, that's an awesome shirt. I want mine to say, "You good, bruh?" And they whipped it up for me. So, man, shout out to them and the good work they're doing, because a lot of people don't really realize that things that they do in life and how they react has to do with their mental health and their upbringing. And just like your brain is a muscle, it needs to be worked out, so does your body. So I kind of feel like that goes hand in hand, the physical and mental health aspect. Right?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
That's what's up, man. So we're going to go ahead and get into some topics. If you're just logged on Fishbowl Radio Network, it's Straightforward Strip. Every Thursday at 3, go to fbrn.us, click on the red stream, or check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at YoungStrip702. We're going to go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes. I know we're out here in Texas, and y'all like meat and potatoes.
It's true.
Oh, man. A lot of people have been talking about this Dave Chappelle stand-up, Sticks and Stones. Sticks and Stones, man. Did y'all watch the special on Netflix?
Most definitely.
Yeah,
I had to.
Yes, I dig it.
I'm a fan.
Huge fan of Dave.
Yeah.
From back in the day, like with Paul Mooney, you know, like the Chappelle show. Yeah.
Man, hey, it's some wild stuff about Paul Mooney too. I'll probably mention it later.
Please do.
But
I love Paul, man. I love his mind, man. I love him.
Well, Dave Chappelle came out with this special on Netflix called Sticks and Stones. He said a lot of things that people are saying needed to be said, but then there's a lot of people saying, I can't believe he said things like this. My whole take on it is, man, I watched the stand-up, and Dave Chappelle is still Dave Chappelle.
Exactly.
Like, if you're thinking that Dave Chappelle was offensive in the Sticks and Stones, please don't watch the Chappelle show.
Please don't.
Don't watch
Start with the Chappelle show, maybe.
My God, man, then you'd have an understanding of Dave Chappelle, because he hasn't changed one bit.
Yeah, and so he did say some things that, you know, target specific groups of people, and they might have come off offensive, or if you were just a regular person on the street and said something like this to somebody, it'd be crazy.
Yeah.
But we're in the world of comedy when we're talking about Dave Chappelle. So how do you feel about what he said about, you know, the LGBT community, the white people in the opioid epidemic?
Well, you know, I mean, again, like you said, you have to understand it's comedy, you know, first and foremost, and it's an art. In all actuality, it's an art. But for him to be able to connect the two, meaning to have meaning and not just telling a joke or whatever have you, but to be able to connect what is really going on and have some substance to it, I think is absolutely brilliant. I think he is a comedic genius. When it comes to what he spoke of, he's always spoke his truth. He's always stood on what he believes in. So to expect anything different is crazy. But I agree with him. I've always had the same stance that he does. He just makes it funny. But I've always had the same stance when it comes to, I mean, all of the issues that he said. I mean, and it's sad, but I mean, you look at it just like he said, okay, now you all understand, now this is your issue, so now you understand it. And that's reality. You know what I mean? Like, it's a harsh reality. We don't want to talk about it, but that's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is. When it hits home, but that's with any situation. If it doesn't hit home for you, then how do you really, truly understand it? Yeah. I mean, come on.
Heck yeah. And Vic the Artistic, you said you watched the Netflix special with Dave Chappelle. Oh, yeah. He did say some vulgar things, you know, I'm not going to lie. Definitely. But I feel like it was things that needed to be said. We're all thinking it. You know, was there something about that special that particularly set out to you?
Well, basically, I enjoy his comedy. I don't expect to watch it without my jaw dropping at points because, you know, he just... like he says, those punchlines, he has them. You know, you can't watch his show and be overly sensitive because, you know, I know what to expect. So, I mean, I enjoyed it through and through. Yeah,
I dig it. Yeah, there's been a lot of commentary from the LGBTQ community. I had to pull it up because I didn't want to get the letters wrong. You know what I'm saying? He called them ABC people. That alphabet people. Yeah. But even in the special, he also said something that actually, you know, I don't want to say, like, it resonated with me because I kind of felt this as well when he mentioned the Michael Jackson accusers. Man, first of all, it's straight up bogus. You know, like, from the jump, you can tell they're lying. None of their stories match up. And I'm just going to straight up say it, like, Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson, yo. Like, he was dating Elvis Presley's daughter. He had any woman he wanted. The chick from the Thriller music video, she was gorgeous and beautiful, yeah. So, like, he wants to mess with these two little boys. Like, come on, man. Now, I do know it's a real problem. It's a real sickness and everything.
It is.
But I just can't believe Michael Jackson would do that.
And the fact that there's new cases now, like, really? Okay. Yeah. Now that he's gone. Yeah. It's over.
Yeah.
So y'all don't believe the victims is the Wade guy and then it was another guy?
You know, for me to say, I never speak on things I don't fully know. So for me to, and I don't assume, I don't make assumptions, but I can tell you what I know about Michael Jackson's life, meaning I don't think that he had a childhood. I think that there was something missing out. So him liking to conduct himself as a child is probably related to some other undertone issue, you know what I'm saying? To have the circus or things in the backyard or whatever, you know? So I don't know what happened, but it doesn't seem like his character to do that. That's just, I mean, I don't know the man like that, but I'm just saying, I mean, it just seems foolish to me.
Straight up. And if you look at the timeline of when, like, the accusations came out, they said this Wade dude, you know, he was one of the dancers from You Got Served and everything. He's a choreographer, and he thought he was going to get a job. Neverland, the Michael Jackson estate, was supposed to be holding this, like, Michael Jackson circus festival thing, and they kind of promised him a job to do the choreography, but then last minute they were like, nah, we got somebody else. And then literally they said, like, 48 hours later he came out with these accusations.
They're quick with it.
Got it. Yeah, and you know, and money, and, you know, but greed nowadays, you know, I mean, how do you, you know, but
Man, it's wild, yeah.
But I'm sure it's not hurting them. The Jackson family, moving right along through all that. So,
say Janet just did what at the Vegas? I mean, the money, the millions that she just made at her residencies. They not like they're just keeping on trucking. They not concern.
Heck yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So that was Dave Chappelle, Sticks and Stones. I liked it. Even on Rotten Tomatoes, you know, one of those websites that's known for giving movie ratings. I completely think they're like racist or biased because I noticed that a lot of great black movies, they always give the worst ratings to. And then all these corny movies, they get like these amazing ratings.
Yeah.
So there was something going on because on Rotten Tomatoes, whenever Sticks and Stones came out, they gave him a 0% rating. Yes.
Oh, wow.
But then the audience voted and they gave it like a 98%.
99.
Exactly.
Like, this sounds like 99.
So I was kind of like, man, if you're listening to Rotten Tomatoes or looking to Rotten Tomatoes, even whenever I see commercials of movies and they're like, Rotten Tomatoes rated this is so-and-so,
Yeah.
I'm not
See
listening
it
to
for
that.
yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not buying that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, something else that I've been seeing that has been kind of floundered with lies on the internet is Kevin Hart. You know, recently just got into a car wreck. I want to clear it up for everybody. He's not paralyzed, guys. Have y'all been seeing this crazy
I
stuff
saw
online?
it, and I wasn't even,
Yeah.
I wasn't phased. 'Cause I was like, wait till the facts come out. You
Yeah.
know, you just can't assume, get all caught up.
I know.
Yeah, straight up, man. So Kevin Hart, man, my positivity and great vibes go out to you. I hope you heal and get a speedy
Oh, yeah.
recovery. They said he had some spinal fractures, you know, intense pain. They said he's still, you know, taking medication for the pain and he's still hurting right now. So man, I want to send my positive vibes out to him, man. Shout out to Kevin Hart. If you're just now logging on, it's Straightforward Strip every Thursday at 3 on FBRN.US in the Red Stream. I am in the studio right now with Fayedra and Vic The Artistic. So y'all said y'all mentioned y'all have kids. Y'all are
Yes.
attractive women. Are y'all single? Are y'all in relationships?
Yep.
Why do we
Single.
do that? Single, yes.
See,
Single,
see.
loving
Yes.
me.
Hey,
Single,
I almost
loving
caught
me.
him about to lie, fellas. I almost caught him about to lie. Yo.
No, ain't nobody lying.
It's real out here, man. I feel you. I wanted to kind of touch on some relationship stuff because I know
Let's.
you personally, you have a lot of coaching and tips and techniques for fellas out there. You know what I'm saying?
They need it.
Where does all this knowledge come from?
I study a lot, but I study the word a lot. But I study a lot of really good teaching in reference to life, in reference to how we were designed and ordained long before opinions, long before society said, long before upbringing, long before what we were taught, long before any of that, how we were designed to be. So yes, that is another reason why I am single, because I'm out looking and I'm seeing and
Yeah. Vic The Artistic, you're on the market, but what's your situation?
Oh, just not in a hurry, you know,
Yeah.
just take my time. Well, I think when some people get in that single mode, you just start enjoying yourself. You know, take yourself out, go out with your friends. It doesn't have to be all about being in a relationship, you know, not all about the hot girl summer necessarily, but just
You ain't
enjoying
partaking
yourself.
hot girl summer?
No, just in the confidence way.
Yeah.
In that spirit I am. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. So you kind of feel like being in a relationship can kind of blind you from your own self-confidence.
Definitely. If you're not matured and you're not ready, you can definitely fall into toxic, you know, situations or relationships for sure.
Heck yeah, that's wild. Because I was thinking over this past week, and I've seen it a lot lately. It's like, especially with social media. Everybody's on social media, and I look at social media like it's one big vent session. There's a lot of people venting on there.
it's
And
a lot.
from what I see women venting about is men ain't ish, you know. And what's your take on that?
Oh man.
Because I kind of feel like it's a thing. Like, do you really feel that all men ain't ish? Like, come on.
I will speak from personal experience. I'll speak from my own life in general. I believe, I'm a firm believer, and I've lived another life where I was single and did not live how I was designed and created to be and things like that and walk in that. So single out here doing me, you know what I mean? And I can tell you, you get what you attract, like who you
Exactly.
are, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like when
Yeah.
I was the chick that, you know, wanted to do what I wanted to do and was doing me, that's what I attracted, those guys. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, yeah, those men weren't ish because that's what I was presenting. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and I can tell you even and now, I don't have on my daily, and I don't know if it's the same for you, but on my daily, I don't have guys that's trying to come up and talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Or hitting. Social media is what it is. Of course, people are going to be in your inbox. I have people right now that's like, oh my God, you're so amazing. You don't know me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I may be legit crazy, like burn you with cigarettes in your sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know me. No, I'm just saying,
Right,
like, so
yeah.
to make that type
Straight
of
up.
assumption based on beauty and things like
Yeah.
that. So me being single at this point is because it's like you're sitting back and you're observing things and you're, no, people, we got to get things in order here. We got to get
So
things in line.
Vic the Artistic, you mentioned something about confidence, you know, and Fayedra saying, you know, dudes are in their DMs in the inbox, you know, just straight being thirsty and weirdos. Like, how do you feel? Like, wouldn't that be good for a woman's confidence though, or does that kind of not count?
I think, well, confidence that's important is self-confidence in yourself and who you are and who you're trying to be and who you aspire to be. But that kind of attention is definitely, you know, not wanted. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, you could be Kylie Jenner, you could be somebody regular on the street. If you're getting thirsty inboxes, you know, it just goes, you know, gets deleted. It's not wanted.
Man. So you get those creep DMs too?
Time to time, yeah.
You don't even notice them. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even the focus. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it's just and I say that because guys are physical beings, so you understand you're going to want to do that, but it's not when you say in reference to it being confidence in a woman. I know who I am, so that doesn't impress me that you're doing it. You're doing it because it's your nature to do, and that's okay. Like, you see an attractive person, you want to say something, of course you do. I don't expect you not to, but it has nothing to do with who I am because I know who I am. You don't know who I am.
Yeah.
You're assuming off of a picture, but I truly know who I am, and that's the jewel.
That's what's up. Yeah, it seems like y'all are, you know, really headed in the right direction, got good heads on your shoulders, and y'all are ambitious and have goals. Do you kind of feel like being in a relationship would take you away from your goals and your ambitions, or could it help?
I mean, it depends on the person. If you make time for it and you're ready, then by all means, go for it and impart that into your life. I think it could enrich things, you know, depending on who it is and things like that.
Yeah, that's what's up. I dig that.
Yeah. I think that just for me and my, I guess you can say my journey of singleness, I believe that, like, for me, I'm chasing purpose and passion and vision. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that on that path, that person will be there. It's not anything that I have to search for.
Exactly.
They like dating sites and doing this and speed dating and going out. It's not how that. It's gonna be aligned when it's supposed to, how it's supposed to, who it's supposed to, all of that.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no reason for it not to work out or complement me and each other when the time is, because at that point it's going to be aligned right when it needs to be. So of course it's gonna complement that person.
That's what's up,
when
man.
it's time.
That sounds good. And I feel like a lot of people out there need to hear that. It's Straightforward with Strip every Thursday at 3. We're talking about, you know, singleness and relationships and ambitions and goals, because something I've been seeing a pattern that doesn't really match up. I see a lot of single women and a lot of men and women bashing each other, but yet I'm seeing a lot of baby pictures. A lot of new pregnancies popping up. So how is it that men ain't ish and black women ain't ish, but we still making babies with each other? Where's that coming from, yo?
Hell, well, I know one thing, you know, when you have children and you're not ready, you're not mature, you're not at that mental state, but you just out here and you might go through that, you know, they may be bitter, they may be this, they may be that. You know, life changes when you have children. So not everybody's ready for that change and that shift, so.
Okay, man. I feel that. You used to be a bully back in school, huh?
No.
Nah, you gotta talk like you a bully
kid.
now. Yeah. Really? You were the quiet kid?
Yeah, I was a quiet kid.
Okay. I dig that. And you mentioned, like I said, confidence. And it kind of feels like that word means something to you. Did you kind of have some type of, like, personal battle with your self-confidence? And did you have a breakthrough with something? What was that about?
Well, like, going through school up through until college, I was definitely more shy and reserved. And I had to do with, you know, back then, being thick or, you know, curvy and having big hair wasn't cool. you know, at least where I went to school. Now it's in. Now it's popular. Now it's trending. So back in the day, you know, I was a little more shy because of that. But after a while, I was like, you know what? I'm going to miss out on things being shy. So I was like, you know, it's over. I got to be myself. I mean, I can't care what other people think. You know, I got to live.
Heck yeah, that's what's up. And you over here, Miss Fayedra, working out and everything. I feel like, have you had any trouble with self-confidence or building yourself up through life?
Yeah. my whole story is based on it. Well, I would say for me, it's not, and not to say it's not self-confidence, because it all ties in, but it's just truly loving yourself and knowing yourself. And for me, my story, I got into a relationship really young. So to love, learn, know any of that, I was 18 when I got in a relationship, and 19 when I got married. So to understand that fully, there's just no way you know yourself at 18. I don't care how wise you are, or any of that. I mean, I'm not Jesus, so, you know, so in that aspect, it was a real struggle to grow and learn, because when you're that young and you get married, then you start raising a family, and your energy, your time, your focus is on, you know, your marriage and your family and things like that. So you get lost. So not knowing myself that was my life, and there were things that I accepted because I didn't have self-worth or self-concept, self-understanding, self-love. So I had to learn the hard way of things. So my whole life is based on that, and I truly live to that now, and that's my standard for my daughter, to show her that, and to show her that is the standard. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Man,
Yeah, so I know all about lacking. I didn't always look this way. I mean, you know what I mean? This is
right.
Yeah, I know all about that, and even in a physical level, we all, you know, have our things that we fight. So, you know, I may have been thin, but I lacked self-confidence because I just had a child. So gravity said hold. So I didn't look the same that I always did. I didn't feel the same. So yeah, we all suffer with those things.
And I like that you mentioned, you know, you were 18 and you didn't quite know yourself yet, because another epidemic that's going on, I don't want to call it epidemic because that's how you describe a sickness or something, but another issue that I feel is arising is a lot of kids wanting to transition their sex before they're 18. And there's a lot of debate and argument going on. There was a woman who actually got her kid taken away, like, by CPS, because she refused to give her daughter, like, hormone treatments because her daughter wanted to be a boy.
Wow, because she refused.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's the direction America and our society is going to, where like they're wanting and letting kids 8, 9, 10 years old, you know, if you're a boy, like, I want to be a girl.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of feel like that is contributing to the issue of mental health issues. You know, I read this stat. They said about like 42% of people that transition, you know, transgender, they end up committing suicide.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of feel like the whole, you know, sexual identity thing needs to be held off, you know, until you're much older, at least, you know, 18, I would say. You know,
it all, and my son is actually 16 this month. I'm like having like the worst time with this. I can't even describe. I think about it so much.
He's driving now.
I try not, like, I literally just told him the other morning, I was like, we got to check on driving school, and it's right across the street from his high school. And I'm just like, oh God, you know. But I say this to say, you got to train up a child. And I say that meaning you have to be responsible as a parent to, it all starts in the home. And I understand, man, my son is almost 16, so he is privileged. He has a phone and he has friends. I understand all of that. But making a decision like that, you have to understand that, you know, what you expose them to has a lot to do with what they're taking in and what they believe. So understanding that there's friends, that's cool, and understand you have school is cool, and YouTube and all of that. But my standard needs to outweigh all of that.
Exactly.
So like if
you know,
your son or one of your kids came to you and said they feel like they're the opposite sex, how do you, like, as a parent, feel like you would handle that?
But see, well, and not to say that it wouldn't happen, but I can tell you, okay, an A is A. I don't care if we're here in the United States or if we're in China. And I say that because seeds have already been sown in my children that wouldn't happen. But I can say if there was a chance that it, just for scenario base, that one, I would explain to them, one, feelings change. And I explain this meaning you feel this way now. it's August, or now it's September. It still feel like August. We in Texas. Okay, it's hot. I feel hot right now. I know December is coming, and I'm gonna feel cool later on. I'm gonna be okay. So you feel this way now. This is temporary. If this does not change, when you are grown, you can do as you may. But under my home, in my roof, this is going to be the rule. This is what the standard is. Now, once you're grown, I mean, I tell my son he wants to dye his hair. I want earrings. Man, you can't do nothing, not in my house. You know, that's just my standard, though.
Yeah.
I'm an old school mama. I just look young, y'all. I just look young. I'm an old school mama, man.
Man, I dig it. Because, yeah, I'm a father, too, as well, you know. And I've thought about it because it seems like it's arising so much nowadays. Like, when I was younger, you know, boys like girls, girls like boys, you know. And we did have, like, in my class, you know, I recognized that one boy that was a little, you know, friendly or whatever. Like, maybe he was raised by just his mom or had a whole bunch of sisters and all that. But we didn't care. You know what I'm saying? And it's like kids didn't even care either. But nowadays, it's in the commercials, it's in the movies, it's in the songs,
it's in the cartoons.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people, especially on social media, kind of say it's like some type of gay agenda or propaganda. Would you go as far to say it's like that, or do you kind of feel like
I think the media is quick to ride, you know, new waves, and I think this is a wave like a very thin line of acceptance, and people are just kind of taking it and realizing that there's a freedom, especially the younger kids that might be wanting to transition early before their bodies are even I'm not a scientist, but I'm not a doctor, but you know, not even giving your body a chance, you know, who knows what like you said, later on down the line, years from now, when you're 18, 21, things might change, but at least wait. You know, give your body a chance.
Who I was at 15 is not who I was at 18. Who I liked at 15, I dang sure didn't like at 25. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, you mature, you grow, you change. That's life. So.
And that's what's scary to think about as well, because there's a lot of people that support children wanting to be transgender, wanting to transition. But if they look at the studies and the rates, they say that, like, kids who are like 9 and 10 years old, like say it's 9 and 10-year-old boys who feel they are girls and they want to be a girl, by the time they hit 14 or 15, they don't want that anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who felt like, I read, they said there's a lot of people who felt like, oh, I need to transition, and once they do, they're like, nah, this ain't for me. I'm just gay, you know. But now you're stuck, you know what I'm saying, with this, man. So it's crazy to me, especially with the new laws that passed in Texas. You know, they said you can't buy alcohol or tobacco now until you're 21, you know.
And what's making these kids, or how are they getting this information? Are they watching YouTube of other kids that, you know, just getting exposed to that, I think, you know, influences them even more. Like, oh, okay, I can do this too. I want to do it too. Like, so I think it's definitely tricky with the media and their freedom of what they share.
And especially with like the social media algorithms and everything like that, it's weird how like I will think of something or be talking about something, then I'll log on to Instagram or Facebook and I'll see an ad for what I was talking about.
Right.
You know, I kind of wanted to ask you to kind of get y'all's perspective, because one of my buddies, I say a lot of pro-black things and a lot of things to kind of empower our community and kind of call out things that are unjust towards us. And I always have those naysayers, and I get some backlash from people saying, man, you only see all that crap, dudes getting shot and killed and mistreated by police and everything because you look for it. So it might just be my social media algorithm, but how do you feel about the state of police and black people in America today with y'all?
Well, my stance, because I have young African-American young men, you know, it's a touchy subject when you have sons, especially black males in this world that we live in. It's tough, but at the same time, again, I believe it starts at home, and I believe that, you know, teaching our children character and integrity, meaning you can avoid certain things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if you don't steal, you ain't got to worry about the police. And
exactly.
if you know what I'm saying?
Don't get
So
in
it's
a
like,
situation.
you know, I teach my sons, man, don't get them involved. No knock to them. They are there to protect and serve. They're there to do their job, but we shouldn't need them because you out here. Like, one time I was telling my sons, because my son, around Trayvon Martin, my oldest son was mature at that time, and that was a tough conversation because he was into hoodies then, and he didn't understand, and he was a young man at that time too, and things like that. But again, we saw an incident where this kid was jumping on a car in a car parking lot of a car dealership, and they ended up shooting the boy or something like that. And I told my son, well, first, he had no business being there. Like, of course, we're going to talk about, oh, you shouldn't, but guess what, man? I teach my sons, like, first step first, like the art of war, putting out a fire before there is one, meaning we don't even need to be in that environment. And not to say that we can't, of course there's injustice. That goes without saying, but it's, man, look at the leader. Come on now.
Right.
Like, we got to be for real about this thing. Look at who we have as a leader. So following the leader. It's like my daughter. If my daughter sees me spit on this carpet, she going to think it's okay to spit on this carpet.
Yeah. But see, I'm not going to lie. Now, I used to be a super, super Donald Trump hater, and, I totally believe, he's racist, he's a jerk, and he's definitely not fit for the position he's in. But whenever you look at the stats and the numbers, so when Trump first got elected, they said the approval rating amongst the black community was at like 6 to 8%. But now it's up to 27-28%. So it's like more black people are getting on the Donald Trump bandwagon, but yet there's another part of our community saying he's evil, he's racist. Do you feel Donald Trump is racist, and like why do you think they're trying to paint it like so?
Well, I don't judge. Listen, an A is A, meaning I don't like his character. He lacks integrity. He's not. So for me, okay, what you stand for, I don't stand for. And it hasn't. I believe. Listen, to me, and I know racism has come out more and more nowadays. But you telling me how you feel? Thank you for letting me know that's how you feel. Thank you. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'm more concerned about the people that's teaching my children that don't like them because they're African American and want to be hush hush about it. You know what I'm saying? Versus somebody that's just like, I'm not fond of African American people. Okay, well, thank you for letting me know, and now I can. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to him being racist, whether he is or not, that's not for me. But at the end of the day, he's not a man of character. He's not a man of stature. Like he's.
And that's what I was saying.
Like he's grimy. That's you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like he's like a
don't
mafia
like him
type
as a
of
person.
dude.
I don't know about him as a president, but
just as a person, that's enough for you.
But it's not even. It's just his character. It's not even his person. I don't know nothing about the man. I couldn't. But I can tell you what I see when he's up there and he's shutting people off and they can't speak, or he's doing this and he's doing that, and the way he responds and reacts. That's your character. That's who you are. That's not changing. If you're like that in front of millions of people and cameras, I can't imagine you behind closed doors.
Man. Heck yeah. And you two being young mothers, Jay-Z recently was saying something about, black mothers are to blame for young black men being shot and killed by police.
Well, you know he didn't say that in front of black mothers.
Yeah, well, he was in an interview. He was in an interview recently, basically saying, because these black women will have kids with, a dude who really ain't ish or whatever, and then leave them to be a single mother. So now that young black kid is growing up in a home, him being the man of the house, and him not having that male figure showing authority or giving him orders. So then they grow up not knowing how to react to that. So then they get a little older, get pulled over by a cop, and then if it's a racist white cop or just a cop in general, they're get the F out the car, get on the ground. They're going to be like, whoa, you don't talk to me like this. My dad ain't even here. I don't even talk, what I'm saying? My dad don't even talk to me like this.
I guess the first step, then maybe he should have addressed it, meaning then we're lacking. First and foremost, you don't even want to get me started, because truth be told, men are the foundation. That's what we're lacking. That's truth. That is truth, and in every area, meaning if we were to have more men that were to stand up, and I say this meaning in reference to my own son's lives, like that stood up and had a stance of something and directed these young men, and I don't care if they're, and I say this meaning to have a heart for it. They don't have to be your sons or not, but just more men taking a stance and guiding these young men. But in reference to the women, yes, there are women that are out here getting pregnant from deadbeats or whatever have you, but then we got to address the issue on women loving themselves, knowing themselves, and having self-worth and self-concept. Not, you all are bad mothers. Well, before she was a mother, maybe she wasn't a good woman and didn't know herself. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let's take it a step back, but let's deal
And then
with
he
the
mentions
problem.
himself, they get with a guy that might be a deadbeat or whatever. Okay, well, it's everybody's responsibility, not just the mother. It's also the father. So
Okay, I feel you. So you saying, yeah, it's the men that need to stand up and rise up, and take charge. Vic the Artistic, what's your take?
Young men.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it takes both. But in the scenario, even I'm a single mother as well, but that doesn't mean I'm not teaching my son that what's right, what's wrong. I know not every mother is educated; they don't have the know-how, but there's still a chance. Not every black kid out there that's raised by a single mother is going to get in trouble with the law.
Not at all. Not my two.
Heck yeah.
I can tell you
and so, I like that you said it's going to take both sides, because I feel the same way. I feel like a lot of men need to step up in certain areas, and a lot of women as well need to step up in certain areas.
Right.
But what do you kind of feel is causing this whole disconnect? Because it shows that, we're not getting married as much as we were, but we're having more babies than we were. And it's like people, especially people our age. I'm 30 years old. Y'all look about my age, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. But it's like, it seems like people in our generation aren't doing relationships and marriage anymore. Why do you think that is? Do y'all believe in marriage?
Oh,
I
most
do.
definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not about that polymorous. I'm not about that just out there doing whatever. Definitely about marriage. And I think it has a lot to do with what Fayedra talks about, which is self-love. If neither one of the people in the relationship have really worked on themselves, okay, then there's going to be problems later. No matter who they're with, it doesn't matter if they're with someone good, with someone bad. You have to be stable.
Yep. Yeah, but I'm a firm believer of marriage. Yeah, most definitely. But again, step one, you got to be completely single. And I think when you talk about
completely single,
no, because we don't know, man. We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
because the single doing me. Let me speak to y'all.
Yeah.
Let me speak. The single doing me is that's not truly
Single and not talking to other people.
Girl, come on now, man. You can't. That's not. And the reason why is there a reason to get married when we haven't everything we want without having what you know what I'm saying? Like the men you get to, or even the women, because I mean, you're out here doing what you want to do, and there's no commitment or time, and there's nothing to it. There's no so it's like, okay. And then when it comes to people live with each other, they do whatever so what is the purpose? And not only that, but people really don't even understand the whole marriage thing. But like I said, you got to be completely single. Step one. I'm so grateful when I think about it. Like, man, my future husband doesn't have to worry. Like, there's no ties. I have no bonds. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing there. You get to start fresh. That's how marriage is meant to be. That's how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
People would probably think that's traditional these days, like old school. Like, and it's weird to me. Like, that's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it was designed to be.
I've always thought of myself as like an old school traditional dude. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's a lot of potential stepdads and stepmoms out there. And you feel what can help bridge that gap and bridge that divide is more men stepping up.
Well, I mean, and I think that I believe that the more that you focus on you'll be aligned. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to this single game, like, people always, I see so many people complaining about singleness and talking about how horrible it is and this and that. I mean, if you're just doing what you need to do for you, it's a great journey. I don't know. I mean, it all starts with you. Like, there's no complaint in it if you're focusing on what it needs to be focused on.
People hear self-love and they think it's like, oh, go get a pedicure, go do this, go shopping. But no, it's about taking the time with yourself, going through the mental process and really getting to know yourself and being okay with being single, because there's nothing wrong with it.
So for the single woman listening right now who's out there single and wrong, you know what I'm saying? We're going to turn it in verse. She's single and wrong right now. What is like a piece of advice you feel like you can give her to kind of build that self-confidence, help her find her true self, so the next time she does, get into a relationship, is not ain't ish dude, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I always tell people to start, meaning to focus on you. And I know that sounds cliche, like you said, the manicure, pedicure, that's what normally women think. But when I say focus, like, your passions, what are you passionate about? Start there. And I say that because once you start there, the door just opens. It's like the floodgates will open, meaning you'll start spending time with you, you'll start developing you, then you'll notice, okay, well, this is what I like, or this is what I desire. So if you're stuck in that place where, like you're saying, what would I say to that woman? Building that confidence, nothing more confident than you being passionate about something, pursuing it, doing it well, growing it, learning it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing more confident than that.
And that's attractive. And then you'll find your partner, you know, at the right time.
Okay. That's what's up. I dig it. And both of y'all, you know, you're in the gym, you know, all day, every day. And you are modeling and everything. I'm sure y'all get approached by, you know, dudes of all different varieties. You know, tell me about those experiences. Especially, I heard it's like something that's getting kind of scary. Like a lot of young models out here being harassed and assaulted by photographers.
Oh, there are a lot of those point and shoot, spray and pray photographers that don't really have the training. And, you know, it's really important if you're a model out there new to the industry to contact somebody. You can reach out to other models that are maybe higher up, have more experience, to understand what to do, how to communicate, so you can be safe, because that's very important. And when you don't feel safe, or maybe you're not sure, you need to bring somebody, and the photographer needs to be okay with that. So
have you ever been in a situation where a photographer was being kind of creepy? And
oh yeah, there's been a couple of creepy photographers, but you know, one thing that's important to keep in mind is well, those were like in public, so there wasn't a risk for danger or things like that. But it's very
like, oh, he ain't
important.
gonna try nothing out here.
You gotta let people know where you're going, when you're going. I'm gonna be here for this long. You know, communicate and reach out and let people know what's going on.
I dig that. And you be in the gym, because I have a homeboy. Shout out to my homeboy Chris Rayon. He's in the gym a lot, and he calls out those gym weirdos. Have you encountered those gym weirdos who like be in the shower staring out the window at you, or you're doing a leg press and they just behind you like, dang?
See, the thing is, I typically go when a lot of people don't go, but I go to a gym that also has a women's area, because when I didn't know for the longest. I went there for probably like 6 months before I even discovered there was a women's area, because I went with my mom, and she's like down there with the guys, you know, but I would go in there with my hoodie on, my sunglasses, because I didn't go in there for that attention, you know what I'm saying? So I was always, but I would have the guys, and it's like all these rows of bikes, but you got to come sit right here, like, why? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so for me, that's why I always would do that. And people would always be like, why you always have your glasses on? One, I'm not trying to make eye contact with you. I didn't come in here for that. So for me, I'm very straightforward. One, I'm there to work out. And if you can't tell, like, I take it kind of serious. So I'm not here to be distracted by you or run game, none of that. I'm not here for that. Now, you want to catch me when I'm on the way out the door, that's another thing. But don't interrupt me during my work.
Exactly.
That's what's up. And that kind of brings up another question, you know, so for my single homie listening right now, because me personally as well, I've had trouble with this, where it's been a situation where like a woman was digging me and feeling me, but I didn't recognize it, so I didn't pursue it, and I ended up, you know, pushing her away. And then there was a chick who I thought was digging me and I wanted to pursue, but she really wasn't. So it's kind of like those signals get confusing and mixed up. What do you think, you know, just to put it out there, what are do's and don'ts, and when and where to holla at a chick, you know, or vice versa? Like, because I've been at the gym and this chick, you know, I was over here like doing the little dumbbell things, and she just kept coming over like, ooh, I like your arms. What exercises do you do? And I'm kind of like, yo, like, this ain't the time, you know what I'm saying? And then I've been on like the treadmill, and the chick is like next to one and she's looking good, and the dude comes on and gets on the next one and starts like trying to talk to her the whole time while she has headphones in her ear. Yeah. So what do you think is like, you know, the signs, the indicators, the green light?
Well, for me, when I'm at the gym, I'm there for me. Like, it's, I'm not there to, like Fayedra says, I'm not trying to make eye contact. Like, I'm looking all around, I have my earbuds in, like, I'm there for me. You know, that's a part of self-love. That's a part of self-care, you know, taking care of myself. So
mentally,
at the gym, it's hard to say. You know, out in public, you know, just approach her like a lady that she is. You know, I would definitely start there, being a gentleman.
I think that guys find it, you know, I don't know why guys find it so hard. And I say that meaning, and just like she said, not at the gym. Don't, like, listen, please. Don't, if you ever if you ever catch me, man, catch me on the way out. I'm a beast. Like, I'm a whole nother animal. Man. Please don't.
And you heard it right here on Straightforward with Strip. The gym is not the place to try and pursue somebody.
But, I mean, but out in public, just like, man, just be a gentleman. Man, I couldn't help but but approach you caught my attention, or just saying how you feel in that moment, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the problem is people want to stare at you for 20 minutes, and it's just like by that time you creepy. And it's like, man, first of all, we teach our children staring is rude, but we do it as adults, and it's like, it's rude. If you have something to say, say it. And there's nothing wrong with you being a man and aggressive and saying what's on your mind, but don't just just
be direct. Hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. What's your name? Basic. Just the basics.
Very simple.
That's what's up. And I feel like a lot of people need to hear that, because I'm so sick and tired. Like, I get on social media, like Twitter or Facebook specifically, and I see a chick post a picture, and it's just like, I don't want to comment, because I know I'm going to get a million notifications of a million dudes just thirsting over this chick, just straight drooling and creeping, and like, I'm like, come on, fellas, like, y'all gotta make us look better. But then at the same time, I see some chicks who post these pictures, like half naked. They look like, they look like Snapchat Premium. I've never had a Snapchat Premium.
What does that mean?
Just to let you know.
Okay, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't.
You never heard of Snapchat Premium?
No.
Have you heard of Snapchat?
Yes,
Okay.
I got the app
cool.
not too long ago, but I only use it for the filters.
Yeah.
For me and my daughter, that's it. I don't
what's
even have
up.
anything on there. I don't even know anything. Somebody asked me the other day, it was like, what's your Snapchat? And I was like, I don't know. I just use the camera.
Yeah. Well, Snapchat Premium is, so if you have Snapchat, you can purchase the Snapchat Premium for like a chick or a dude, and you get, extra special pictures and videos.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of look at it like, man, Backpage went away, but like Backpage didn't end. It just went somewhere else. Y'all remember Backpage?
People will find a way to promote whatever they want. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Learned
out there.
something new today.
It's out there.
So have y'all ever, because I've done it myself, where, on social media or out in public, I see a dude, especially a black man, disrespecting himself and disrespecting a woman, at the same time, and just making us as a community look bad. I'll say something, like, come on, bro, like, You a king, dude. Like, you got to make us look better than that. We're a team, and especially black men, we get generalized with everything. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to tell a woman, like, yo, stop being a thought, anything like that?
No. And I say that because with women, we're a little bit different, and I say that meaning, especially if you don't know that woman, to say something in that regard, you always want to seem respectful, and for me, it's just like, man, I just just pray that they have a revelation or whatever have you, and but to say something to someone that I don't know, I mean, not only that, but people are crazy nowadays. You never, I'm not willing to, of that, and you don't know, especially in the heat of the moment, for something to pull someone's coattail, you don't know how they'll react to that.
But what if, like, a lot of people are crazy and weird, or we perceive a lot of people as being crazy because we don't really reach out like we should? They said, like, back in like the 50s and 60s and 70s, like 44% of people knew their neighbors. Now only 14% of people know who their neighbors are. So why do you think this decrease in communication and just like, hey, what's going on, neighbor, how you doing, just checking up on people? You don't think like that would help? If I mean, if you see a chick, being a thigh, you ain't just got to be like, yo, stop being a thigh, but like kind of do something to help hold herself accountable. So all in all, the in general will be good.
No, and I think again in an aspect of that, just being able to set a standard and doing just like you're doing, getting the word out there, doing like my mother and I are doing, getting the word out there, meaning I may not be able to affect your life personally, but at the same time, if I'm able to give you a message or for you to be able to take something from this point forward, then I still done my job. But I'm not the person, I don't like confrontation. That's just me naturally. I just don't. So for me to pull somebody's coattail when I don't know how they're going to respond. But I'll pray for you though.
Yeah.
I will lift you up in prayer.
I feel you. Man, this has been awesome. If you're just now logging on, it's Straightforward with Strip every Thursday at 3 p.m. in the Red Stream on fbrn.us, or you can check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YoungStrip702. I'm in the studio right now with Miss Fayedra and Vic The Artistic. Vic The Artistic, you are a dual threat model photographer. So where do you plan on taking that from here? What are your goals? What do you see yourself in 5 years in modeling and photography?
Oh, as far as possible, you know, working with magazines, working with other photographers and other creatives. I'm just somebody that loves to create and expand, so I'm working with other creatives as well as there's a Instagram called Planet V that I'm following. It's run by Vishay, who's amazing. So if you can go on, you can see her and see what she's doing to create and just to really get her brand out there. So for me, I'm just moving forward, just staying productive.
That's what's up. And if somebody wanted some photography done, or they're interested in getting into modeling, how can they like get in contact with you and, you know, holler at you about doing that?
Definitely hit me up on my Instagram at Vic The Artistic, and we can work something out. Photography-wise, modeling-wise, you just need some advice, let me know.
Yeah, that's what's up. And Miss Fayedra over here working out, and over here with the teammate with your mom, you know, changing lives and getting fit. What's the main goal, the ambitions? Where do you want to take this?
Our desire is to see people well. Our desire is to see people whole. And for me, my going into this and having a small segment, my desire is to help heal women, to be transparent as I can with my own story, and for women to have a desire to love themselves. That's my plan. That's my mission. That's my vision. It's my passion. That's where we are going in this, is to spread the truth and to get people to come back to the original truth.
So y'all don't do just like physical training, but y'all also do like, seems like life coaching as well.
Yeah, it starts with the mind. That's where my mother's mind, body, soul shift. It starts with your mind. We have to renew your mind, transform your mind. Like, we have to give you the information first so you can understand. Because again, I mean, for long story short, my story and being able to come from where I come from, I mean, I was involved in something I didn't know. So the thing is, you don't know what you only know what you know. So again, it has to start with your mind, giving you the information so you can make a difference, you know, a change. So yes.
That's awesome. And if somebody wants to get in contact with you, you know, they want to get their mental and their physical on the right track, how can they reach you?
Facebook, my mother, it's Mind, Body, Soul Shift. I will have a segment on her internet TV show. So Mind, Body, Soul Shift. If you all want to search that, that's how you can get in contact with us. Yes.
Man, that's awesome. And of course, I got to throw a shout out to my sponsors. That's First In Moving Company. If you're trying to move anything from a bicycle to a entire commercial suite, holla at First-In Moving Company at www.firstinmoving.com, or give them a call at 214-458-5800, as well as Brown Sugar Apothecary. They're going to have a grand opening this Saturday. All your purchasing orders, you're going to get 20% off. So Brown Sugar Apothecary on Instagram, I wanted to let y'all know about that too, because nowadays it seems a lot more people are getting into the naturalness and the herbal remedies and the apothecary things like that. You know, do y'all use oils and herbs and sage? And
my mother actually makes shea butter, like from scratch, and all of that. Yeah, so I mean, she's like all holistic. She's, I mean, amazing. But yes.
That's awesome. I dig that for sure, man. Holistic, that's the way to go. So shout out to Brown Sugar Apothecary on Instagram, or Brown Sugar Apothecary on Facebook. Also, I want to throw a shout out to Lola Faye Extensions. Ladies, if you're looking for the bundles, if you're looking for the inches, holla at Lola Faye Extensions. So shout out to them, man. It's Straightforward Strip every Thursday at 3 in the red stream on fbrn.us, or right here on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at YoungStrip702. Like I said, we were in the studio with Fayedra and Vic The Artistic. Man, I really appreciate y'all coming to the studio today. Heck yeah. I kind of like am inspired to get in the gym and start taking a whole bunch of pictures of myself as well. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
All right, that's what's up, man. Straightforward with Strip every Thursday at 3 p.m.
Straightforward. So when a person is straightforward, it says of a person, they're honest and frank. And then the synonyms would be honest, frank, candid, open, truthful, sincere. And I don't know what could be more attractive than somebody who's open and honest with you.
Straightforward with Strip.
They hate it when I pull up, bro. I like that.